Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of FPL Backbenchers. This is your host Somnath, joined by once again my co-host Anjan. Anjan, how you doing? We have missed you on the pod last week.
Thank God.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Yeah. I'm doing okay. But FPL wise, I am doing horribly wrong, actually.
You've been traveling
What
around
about
quite
you?
a bit, so
Yeah, yeah.
a lot has happened. We have not discussed as to how your last game week was. At least the viewers don't know. So you want to touch briefly upon like how it is generally going for you right now?
I played my fleet and I scored 69 points, I guess.
That is this game
That's
week.
all.
You're talking about
Yeah.
this game week. What happened the last game week? Last game week you are not there, so we don't have the update on that.
Oh, last game week, I don't remember how much point I scored.
Was it a green arrow or a red arrow? That's the most important thing.
Red Arrow.
Okay. Yeah. We are in free fall. At least I'm in
Yeah.
free fall. So this
I
I
was talking in free fall.
okay, yeah, so fair enough. You were not there last week and you played your free hit, right? So how was it?
Yeah.
How did it go?
Very bad, actually.
Well, why is that? What happened? Like you did not have
Well,
players like you had
no,
Ronaldo, right? In
yeah,
your
I had Ronaldo, but my captain was Bruno,
team.
and then I didn't had Salah. I had some Cornet, uh, Cornet, Wood, those kind of players who didn't return any point as such. So, yeah, it was pretty average. I've seen lots of people scoring 80, 90, 80, 90, 100 points like without using their free hit even. So even after like using my free hit, I feel like I'm disappointed.
You took your gamble. I think you did not have any Leicester assets, right, in your team.
Yeah, yeah.
It was again a gamble. So anybody who had probably had Barnes did well. Salah obviously did well. Did you take a punt on City in your free hit team?
No.
No. Okay. So I think you should probably you needed the pot to happen last week. You should have been on the pot. We could have discussed the free hit out, hashed it out.
Yeah,
Anyways,
yeah, exactly.
unfortunate timing. But I think hopefully it's a fortunate timing for me. I might be intending to play my free hit this game week. Odd game week to select, but
That's it.
I'm thinking. Let's see.
No, it's like mostly team wise. I think single game week fixtures are pretty good this week. City plays against Watford, Liverpool plays against toothless Everton. I think single game week fixtures are quite good.
I wouldn't say it is team dependent to be honest, but I think there are opportunities. I feel at least in my head there are opportunities this game week because otherwise I don't think anybody's team is that far off. Anybody who is at least playing seriously at this point of time that they can give a drastic makeover to their team using the free hit chip because everybody would have been planning their transfers and I mean people like me who had played their wild card back in game week 28, which is a long time back now. Uh, we did plan for our team moving forward. So I don't think there's massive difference as such from where presently even your team would be from what should be an ideal team for this game week. But I think there are opportunities in this game week that can be there for taking, which we will obviously discuss. Before moving and on to discussing a whole lot of that and how bad our game weeks were, uh, please do like the channel, do like the video if you have not done so yet. Share the channel with your friends and your own FPL community, be it on Twitter or anywhere. Do support the channel and Yeah, so that we can keep on providing good content and more people discover us. So another another small double game week coming up next, Anjan. So
Yeah,
let,
it's
let me ask you a question. We You have been playing FPL for very long time now. Are you like a bit fatigued by all these double game weeks that are happening?
yeah, yeah, completely. Like
Feels too
like
exhaustive, right?
so.
Like it's like
Yeah,
too much.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. I think last season was I think COVID season. Last season, this season was so many double gimmick season. Like something unusual. Like it's
I think
very
for the past, yeah, couple of seasons, what I think you're trying to say is what I generally feel is uh, anybody who's usually used to doing long-term planning, that long-term planning has been thrown out of window. It is more
yeah,
like
exactly.
reactionary and provocatory in that sense, wherein you just think about the game week staring you in the face. And
And like one more thing, I think this normalcy won't come back soon because next season there is a FIFA World
that
Cup.
is going to be another crazy thing. So having a major
Exactly.
tournament in between the season, I don't know how we. Uh, I think nobody knows, but eventually, what I have learned, and this basically has been the learning from for FPL throughout, is the season is for that person who adapts the quickest, right? So even
Exactly.
in this, a lot of people who are used to playing that long-term planning kind of a style, they also have adapted. I wouldn't say that we haven't adapted, but it's just that for in our case, more often than not, it has not worked out for that particular game because somewhere probably we could not entirely let go of that mindset that uh, we are not doing a long-term planning. We eventually ended up doing that, and yeah. So prime example being, I'll tell you, is when the blank game week 30 happened and I kept hold of Salah thinking who will buy Salah back the next game week. People who sold Salah for Sun, they immediately got returned because Sun was captained by them, scored a brace, got 30 odd points, and Sun followed it up with the next game week. And by the time that I sold Salah, which is last game week, which is game week 32 for Bruno Fernandes, that is the time when people actually bought Salah back again. And Salah followed that up with an assist last game week and a brace and an assist this game week. So yeah, these are the kind of
Fine moments. Fine moments actually.
it's not just about fine moments. It's also about the fact that I got into the thought process of taking it a bit long term. Like Bruno will have a double game week, so prior to that he also has an easier fixture. Why not jump on that? And uh, anyways, so that sort of mentality did not work out. Moving on, let's move on to the next game week, which is again another double game week, or rather a mini double game week. So United and Chelsea do have a double game. So I think the most interested aspect of for people for this particular game week. You okay about it?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah. So the most interesting aspect for people in this particular game week would be Chelsea, right? More so than United. And personally feel that last night's result, uh, Arsenal winning against Chelsea, is actually like a very apt thing to happen for the Chelsea double game week. I'm not talking about you as a Chelsea fan or Chelsea as a club, but purely from the perspective of FPL, I think it's a brilliant thing that happened. So I think there is a case of clumping on to Chelsea assets. So I will ask you, what do you think the potential of Chelsea is, and who are the ones that we should be targeting?
Well, speaking of defense, I guess Rudiger. I think he's out injured for the West Ham game, and probably I would say the explosiveness you can see that is quite missing from James as he's being played in the center back role. So I think Alonso is not a bad option. I think there is no as such competition for him in that particular side, and he's quite explosive also.
Hmm.
And from midfield point of view, I think Kai Havertz benching in the last game. It's like almost confirms that he would play the next two games because when he when he came to the pitch, we are playing a bit better actually. And I think Kovacic injury is the key for us. I think we would still struggle to like control the ball in the midfield area.
So, for people who don't understand or like might be wondering why Kovac is, although he is not a FPL asset, but he's very important for us FPL consideration wise, because generally Chelsea are progressing and scoring much better when Kovac is present on the pitch. As for the point that you mentioned, I think Rudiger is not completely ruled out. I think Tuchel will have another press conference before the game week happens. So conclusively, we will be knowing in that particular press conference for that sense. Regarding James, James is interesting because I personally feel that even though James is playing as a right centre back, well, in that case, barring Alonso, if you have to go for any other defender, I don't see James missing out any of the matches, uh, irrespective of whatever might be the narrative. I don't see him missing either the West Ham match or the United match. There is at least no reason for that. If at all any matches or any uh, whoever is important, Chelsea asset wise, who are going to play in the final, I think they will probably miss one of the matches in the double of 36, which is I think against Bulls and Leeds. So if any rest or rotation, I think will be much more apt there rather than here, because right now I don't think Chelsea will be comfortable that they can easily lose out or drop points any further. So I don't have a problem with James's timing. Also, I did notice that mm, he played for the last 20 minutes as the right wing back in last night's match against Arsenal, in which I think Chelsea were progressing the ball better and they did look much more in control. So even though I mean this is my feeling that if he is playing the right centre back role, I don't think Tuchel will be keeping him hiding in that particular role for a very long time, because at the end of the day, Chelsea do need goal and Chelsea do need his skills up front. So I think sooner or later we'll see him move forward. And as we know,
Absolutely.
like United match, United probably right now is one of the easiest team to play. So I don't think that will
Mm.
be as intensive for him if he is playing as a right wing back in that particular match. And essentially, it will also be a very important match because United are also a team who are aiming and going for the top four. So yeah, I think Chelsea will be up and motivated for that. Generally, I think well, Lukaku is gone as an asset, right?
Yeah,
There's like absolutely no discussion about it. It
no
seems
point
very,
actually.
it seems very weird considering from the start of the season. So yeah, lot has changed over the time. So if I do ask you, Would you double up on Chelsea's defense or would you double up on Chelsea's attack? I think
I would
attack.
definitely, yeah, I would definitely develop in attack.
Okay,
I won't mind tripling up also
okay. So
in our
you
attack.
completely forego having a Chelsea defender altogether.
Yeah,
You don't believe Chelsea can keep a clean sheet?
mm, I think Chelsea would concede in both the matches.
Who will score for United?
I think you can see Bruno finally scoring against us because
Remember, I'm a
uh,
United fan.
Nikita's.
No, I'm not taking that big, but genuine question because Bruno is playing pretty deep. He has played as a number six in both the matches, be it the Norwich match or be it the Liverpool match.
Boss, just one more thing. You just see how Arsenal were playing. Just they were playing before us against Southampton, against Brighton, against I don't know some other team.
But
You guys lost like
the
three matches,
yeah, no, we
and
lost
like
actually back to back. We lost, I think, two matches. But the thing is, the difference is, even though Arsenal lost the Brighton match, we actually dominated the entire match and then we lost the match. We were actually the better team against Brighton. It's just that we could not convert any big chances that we got. So we got a bucket load of chances, but Arsenal could not convert a single chance. And eventually, Brighton at the end did score a goal to Trossard, and that's how we lost that match. Before that match, even I think the Southampton one as well. Uh, although we did concede right up front. I think within 15 minutes, Bednatek scored the goal. But in saying that, I don't think Arsenal played bad. But that is the difference. United are not. They are not losing the match wherein they are giving a very tough fight to the opposition, and the opposition is outplaying them. Right now, the oppositions are toying with them. I mean, leave aside Liverpool, they're probably one of the best teams in Europe. Even if you think about Everton, they could not beat Everton with how Everton are right now, who are having difficulty to beat a team like Leicester, who are absolutely tired from playing European commitments and everything altogether. Even the apart, if not for the brilliance of Cristiano Ronaldo, I think Norwich could have given them a match. They almost did. It's just that Ronaldo scored a hat trick. So I think they might be able to regroup and all, but I don't see a drastic improvement in United's performance so that they can suddenly be competitive against a team like Chelsea. They might pose a bit more of a fight, but yeah, I mean, if Cristiano Ronaldo is playing, there's an individual moment of brilliance wherein he goes and score a goal. That's the difference totally.
well, I just wanted to remind you something. Like United were playing pathetically. They lost Liverpool away, and they lost Liverpool home, City home, just before playing against us. And what did we do? We like it was 1-1 draw.
This you're talking about
So
a different era and a different time because that time Ole was the manager. They played a completely different counter-attacking system, which I feel Ragnick is absolutely against doing because he believes in that gegenpressing kind of system, right? So he never, at least I have not seen, barring probably a couple of match where he has set up in consciously in his mind, he has played like basic football in that sense, wherein he has set up in a formation like a 5-3-2 or a 5-4-1, wherein he's protecting his entire defense and is okay or upfront going for the counter attacking style of football. So I don't believe that is happening. Uh, I would probably say, I mean, we coming back to and not over analyzing about United. I think they have a new manager and everybody do that for them. coming back to the point about Chelsea, and I think Chelsea might be good enough for one clean sheet, which is why it is probably more enticing to me that if somebody has the provision of going for these games, they should, because even if Chelsea do concede, and well, if Tuchel decides that he has to play right wing back position, I think that is the upside chasing, as they call it. That's the game that can actually, you know, make a lot of difference. So yeah, seems fair enough. I will probably not captain a Chelsea defender. So if you have to double up on attack, so which are the two attackers that you would suggest to double up on?
Mount and Mount and Kai Havertz.
Mount and Kai Havertz. So who is the absolute essential? I think Kai Havertz is probably
Kai Havertz.
essential. Yeah. Okay. So why Mount over Werner? That is something that is of interest to me.
Well, I guess Mount is on set pieces. Quite a lot of amount of set pieces. He's like
I don't have
scoring.
a like doubt regarding Mount's capability. My question is, right now Lukaku is obviously not kicking. I feel as of now how Chelsea are playing and attacking, Werner is a very integral part of that. He has increased his productivity very highly from last season. From when I used to own Werner, since I was trying or I am thinking about owning Werner, I was looking observing very closely at him, and he's much more involved in the actual FPL point gameplay, if that makes sense. And plus, don't you think Mount has played a lot of minutes? So if there is at all any rotation, there probably will be for Mount, who might be bench.
Warner has also played lots of minutes.
Yeah, but
So
who do you think has
you
the
can't
higher?
say
Okay, that's a fair enough point.
like
I had not considered that. But Bonham has played a lot of minutes, but I think Mount has played consecutively. Like he has not missed a single match in between.
same with like I think Warner has also played. I think 5-6 continuous. I think it's like almost par actually between Warner and Mount. So I don't see the point. Uh, Anybody can miss, anybody can play. That's like one guessing part. Uh, but I think Kai Havertz is almost nailed on for the next two matches.
I will probably say I know. I mean, again, like, I am going against the game. I'm a bit against the green kind of a manager, but I feel Werner is the more exciting pick. So he probably has the higher potential. Mount does provide, barring the if you think about the Norwich game, or probably the game which was the game Southampton game that he played 2 game weeks back. Barring these blips in between, Mount is more of a consistent ticker wherein he gives an assist and stuff, which is not bad. But I think if you are somebody who's on wildcard or who's on free hit, so I would probably live a little. I think Werner is a very exciting pick, especially if Werner does get the opportunity to play against United. So the way he does those runs behind the defenders, I think he can run a riot, provided the proper kind of service and everything if he gets. I think he can absolutely run riot with that. So yeah, that should be something that is exciting. So what are the score lines that you are predicting for Chelsea?
Chelsea West Ham I'm predicting 2-1 and United Chelsea I'm predicting 2-1 again in favor of us.
Okay, okay, mm, all right. Chelsea West Ham is on Sunday. So yeah,
Mm,
I think West Ham does have a European tie midweek, right? Same midweek
yeah.
after Sunday.
Yeah.
I'll probably, I think there might be a chance that Chelsea can win this 1-0 or 2-0. But I think more realistically, this will be probably something like a 2-1 kind of a match, as you said. The United match, although it is at Old Trafford, I expect it either to be very high scoring match, like uh, uh, like both sides are scoring a lot of goals. So it can be like a 3-2, but I think the more realistic score would probably be 3-0 or even 4-0. If United play the way that they played against Liverpool, sky is the limit. We hope FPL wise it does. Which brings uh, me to the question of United. Would you own any United asset? I mean, obviously you do own, but if you were wildcarding, if you were free hitting, I would definitely not use my free transfer to bring in any United asset. In fact, even if I was not using any chip, I probably would be selling Bruno Fernandes still if you don't
I guess
own player.
I guess like bearing Ronaldo, I see no other player.
Even Ronaldo's case, I mean, sad to hear about his unborn baby, and it's very sad. So I think even that particular news needs to be tracked. Whether if Ronaldo is not playing or he will not feature in one of the matches, I don't feel it's worth bothering with United altogether. I'm not saying that United will be completely. They will turn up for the Arsenal match. I'm sure about that. But I don't think it's worth wasting a transfer to get a United player. And I wouldn't be afraid to sell a United player as well. Especially if you consider if suppose like if you are somebody who has Bruno in your team but you don't have Salah in your team, who do you favor more for point five this game week? Salah against Everton at home or Bruno against Chelsea and Arsenal, where he's basically
Obviously, Salah.
number six. So yeah, yeah,
Obviously, Salah.
that answers your question. So I wouldn't be too shy to sell a United asset as such. It's sad to talk about United in that sense, but yeah, that's how it is right now. uh, City, how did you how what did you make of City? The brilliant
Who pardon?
Manchester City.
Yeah. They lost the FA Cup tie. I think they played quite well. It was quite expected. I guess they turned around in the second half of the match. I think Riyad Mahrez was brilliant in this match.
It's interesting. I was actually even before this match started, I was considering Riyad Mahrez for this game week, the game week that is coming. I'm a bit wary now whether he'll start or not because they do have a midweek match. City to start off with were very sluggish. They were not at their best, but I think it's a testimony to the team that even without being their best, as you said, they did turn it up a bit more in the second half. They were comfortably past Brighton 3-0. So yeah, kudos to them. I think this can be an absolute rout if City are in the mood against Watford at home. Can be an absolute ballpark of a game. Prediction.
3-0. I guess City. I think City have a very important tie against Real Madrid compared to Liverpool, who have a relatively easy tie. So I guess would be their focus would be just winning this particular match, mm, bo- ignoring about the score line and like focusing on the next match.
I, for one, I think regarding the Champions League tie against Real Madrid, I think City will comfortably beat Real Madrid. I don't think it will be a very big problem because uh, I did see how Real Madrid were playing against Chelsea. If they play like that against City, City will absolutely murder them. So at least in the second leg of how they played against Chelsea. Yeah, but I don't think City can afford to relax. It's just that City's team is that good; they don't need their A game to beat Watford. But generally, I have seen where teams that are sitting with a low block, which is how Watford is playing now under Roy Hodgson, City tend to do well against these teams. I'll go with a bold prediction. I'll go for 5-0 against Watford. Especially it's a Saturday match, so it'll be done and dusted pretty quick. So, yeah. Any what do you think about Leicester against Aston Villa? Because a lot of people will be carrying forward their Leicester assets from this game. I think that's worth talking
I
about.
I guess Leicester primary focus would be in Europe for like obvious reason. I
But that
think I
match
think
is on Thursday, right? This match is on Saturday. I
yeah.
don't think that will affect that much.
But they played on Thursday. I guess no, they played so like I think we might see rotation again. We might see benching of medicine and medicine and all. So yeah,
See, because they were already benched in the first leg. Not the first leg, sorry, the first match of the double game week, wherein they came. I don't see a benching. Considering it's a full strength team, what do you expect the scoreline to be? I
I
find
see.
it confusing. If this
I
score
I
was
would
in their full strength team,
I see Leicester winning it comfortably because I think Aston Villa are a team which have gone into the beach already. I feel so. Leicester would win it comfortably. I would go for a 2-1 scoreline.
I am I'm not that convinced. I think I do hear the narrative all around that Leicester should beat Aston Villa convincingly, but I don't know. Somehow I'm not convinced. Um, I'll go for a one-all draw for this particular match. I think that's probably the best case scenario. I don't see Leicester keeping a clean sheet right now. Very difficult. Um, mm, Brentford Spurs, interesting match, relevant match for all.
I think Spurs. I think Spurs need to bounce back after that odd defeat against Brighton. I feel Spurs would be pumped up, but I feel Brentford would definitely score. I would go for a Spurs win 3-1.
Brentford are generally also weak down their right hand side, so I think they do have that affinity and that weakness down there that they have conceded more goals from their right than their left hand side. So I think somebody like a Sun would hugely benefit. But then again, it also depends on Spurs, which Spurs turns up on that day. As of now, Arsenal and Spurs are matched on points. Spurs is ahead on goal difference. I think that will be one of their focus, which eventually makes the North London derby an all-important match altogether. So let's see how that pans out. Uh, Apart from this, any other? Okay, yeah, Liverpool, Merseyside derby. Do you see rotation in this match for Liverpool?
I see a rotation for probably Luis Diaz. I see Jota starting this match.
Any
I
scenario where
don't see.
you see Salah being benched or Robertson being benched for Simicas, something like that?
Uh, um, it's very hard to predict. But yeah, I think considering the mm, I think considering the derby being it's a Merseyside derby, I don't think so there would be rotation in this match.
Your prediction?
I'll go for a 3-0 Liverpool.
Same here. I think they should comfortably beat. Uh, Crystal Palace lead. Let's just quickly look at the fixture for what are Leeds fixtures up front and pose your
I
question.
think I
They
think
have
Lil-
Palace away. After that, they have Man City at home. Then they have a double game week against Arsenal and Chelsea. Arsenal away, Chelsea home. Then against Brighton. Then against last matches against Brentford away. Uh, do you think at this juncture, if you have Rafinha, you sell him, or do you see any point in holding Rafinha any further? I
I
think
don't think so.
I don't.
Like
Yeah,
there is no point in like holding him anyway. And whatever I think Crystal Palace away it's a tough game because Crystal Palace in their home turf they are quite different animal actually.
true.
So I feel
It
no
won't be
point
that easy
in
of a match.
keeping him.
Probably, I think Rafinha might end up scoring a couple of goals, 2, 3 goals from now till the end of the season. But I don't think with the vast majority of options that we have available in the midfield, I don't think it's worth holding on to Rafinha right now, especially with a lot of doubles coming. So if you
So
have a Rafinha size uh, spot on in your team in midfield, I would be very comfortable in switching that towards probably a Mount or a I don't know, probably Havertz. But here's one question for you, Anjan. So suppose you are somebody who does not have any chips left, barring probably a bench boost, which is the scenario with a lot of people. And a lot of people do have a Rafinha and a Kulu in their team, Kulusevski from Spurs. Don't you think selling Kulu might be the better play than selling Rafinha? Considering if you can bench Rafinha for game week 35 against City, uh, don't you think Rafinha is a better double game week proposition than Kulu in 36? So Tottenham has Liverpool away and Arsenal at home, and Rafinha will be having Arsenal away and Chelsea at home.
I think basically both of them fixtures are quite tough. But
Yeah, so that somebody cannot
I feel
afford them, and it's about having double game week coverage for 36. I think
I
selling Kulu might be the better play. I don't know.
I would still say selling Rafinha would be better. I think Kulu plays for a I think Kulu plays for a better team, and like Spurs create more chances than Leeds, and
Plus, they have
Spurs are a
to play for,
yeah.
but then also again, I think the talisman theory in case of leagues also come into play. But it's a tricky situation. It's a tricky decision for somebody who is in that scenario who can only sell one this game week. So yeah, it's kind of a sticky ground. I think yeah, Rafinha can be sold considering he's also expensive than Kulu. So I don't know if funds are a issue. Definitely, yeah, I would not think much about that. Oh, okay, so that wraps up the fixtures for us. So who would be or who is the best captaincy of according to you this game?
Uh, Probably
Maybe
Chelsea
the
asset.
fixture which you have forgotten. So City has Watford
Uh,
at home,
no,
Liverpool
no,
at
no, no. I think probably Chelsea asset because they have a double game week. And like if we are going for a single game week player, considering City like who would play and all those stuff, rotation and all those things happening, I think Salah is a very good pick for this particular week.
absolutely true. Okay, so let's move on to your team. You want me to read?
No, no, no. Okay, fine. Go ahead. No, actually, you are like supposed to play free, so I was just about to
We
ask,
will discuss the
like,
free hit.
what are
Let's move on from your team to my team and then to the free hit. I do have a
like,
mock draft, so people have complained that whenever we discuss, we don't usually make a draft. So I have made a mock draft. I don't know that that is the best draft or not. So we'll have some talking points right there. Okay. So your team, you want to speak about it? How many? You will have one free transfer since you've played the free hit. So what are your plans? Ramsdale,
well,
you
I
have
have,
Liverpool, you have Trent, Cancelo, James.
uh, well, my plan is simple. I would remove DCL. I would remove Rafina. I would probably go for a Chelsea striker. I would probably go for a Chelsea mid. That's my plan. That's a easy route. Now the problem is that
How much in the bank?
Bruno 2.6.
Yes, you have ample amount of money in your bank. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So my transfer would be DCL to Warner, and most probably uh, it would be Havertz. I think Kai Havertz, Rafinha to Havertz. And my main problem now would be, should I sell Bruno? And if I sell Bruno, then it should be for Salah or it should be for KDB or someone like Sterling.
From now till the end of the season, or or
And
what is the
and like remember, it would be for -8 because already my two transfer is fixed.
uh, if the transfer is with so it also depends a lot when you will be playing that second free hit chip that you have. So
Yeah, my
depending on
actually,
that, I think the midfielder should be selected.
like
But
my
I
initial,
don't think you can be able to afford Salah. Will you be able to afford Salah? I don't think so.
I haven't checked. I think I could afford.
You should not be able because uh, you said Calvert Lewin to a Chelsea forward, which is obviously Werner because there's nobody else there. So
Hmm.
that is an upgrade on Calvert Lewin. And Rafinha to Havertz, that is also an upgrade. And Bruno to Salah, that is also an upgrade. I don't think you have that much cash in your bank. You'll probably have to take a -12. So I don't think you have that avenue of going Bruno to Salah with both of these fixed plan transfers. Unless there's money in the bank that you're not telling me about.
No, no, I like told you I have 2.6 in my bank.
I don't think that will be sufficient to Bruno to Salah plus Rafinha to Havertz plus DCL to Werner. DCL,
Yeah,
what is the selling price? I think it will be around 7.8,
seven, seven,
7.5. Werner is 8.6. Rafinha's selling price would be somewhat around 6.4, 6.5. Havertz is 7.9.
6.4.
Yeah, Havertz 7.9. So you have already spent around 2.1, 2.2. You'll be left with zero point 0.4. Bruno's selling price would be 11.8, and that would bring you up to probably 12, 12.2. Salah is 13.2. I don't think you will be having cash to take Salah in that case.
Yeah,
If you're doing the
okay.
long term play in that sense, and if the hit can be justified if it's till the end of the season, I think I'll plump for a City midfielder in that case because they have fixtures, good fixtures till the end of the season throughout.
Like City midfielder, whom do you think?
It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one and it's an odd one, I would suggest. Obviously, KDB is definitely a very good option. There is no doubt about it. But I think I would be punting on Sterling. Come,
No, no. Actually, like I had like already mentioned about Sterling. I
Yeah,
guess.
you have mentioned about Sterling, but I'm not really sure whether Sterling would be starting the next couple of games. But in saying that, what I meant was I will be punting on Sterling probably from around 35, 36 onwards. I'm not really sure whether Sterling plays this game week or not. Or at least I'll wait for, although we never get any clues from Pep's pressers, but generally there are a lot of predictions going around on Twitter as to what might be the predicted team city-wise. And we'll get injury news and all. So I'm not really confident that Sterling will start this game week. But yeah, I think he's a very decent option going forward. And if you're thinking of somewhat of a
Uh,
different team, then
why do you
I
think
prefer
the
a team.
Starling would be like? Why do you think Starling won't be like starting this? He didn't play in the midweek game against
Yeah,
Brighton.
because
He didn't.
Pep does not do rotation similar to other managers. Pep's rotations are usually in a block of 3, 4, 5 games, and the Sterling having not played this match, I'm not really able to remember whether Sterling played the last match or not. But I don't think Sterling needs to be brought back in a match against Watford. I see him rather starting the Champions League match directly against Liverpool Madrid. So the rotation for Pep works a bit differently to other managers. Other managers give one match rest, then the next match they are confirmed. Pep doesn't work like that. So your rest will be. You can see prime examples of that from Mahrez. When Mahrez used to get rest, it was continuous 3, 4 matches he did not start. So yeah, just a hunch. Might change. Let's see what news comes up before the presses and all. So yeah, there might be value and worth in taking a -8 as well, provided you get the right player. Obviously,
That's a big problem. Getting the right player
yeah,
from
that's
City.
the whole game. Yeah, yeah. In the nutshell, that's the whole game. If you can get the right player, you can take the hit. Yeah, well done, Somnath. Good. Nice, nice. Okay, let's move on to my team. My present team is, I'll read out: Pope, Cancelo, Robertson, Diego Dalot, Thiago Silva, four at the back, four in the middle, two up front. Kulu, Martinelli, Fernandez, Barnes, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Harry Kane. On my bench, I have Gordon, Kilman, Weghorst, and Dubravka. This is my present team. I have one free transfer. If I were to do a simple transfer, obviously I will not do just one transfer. I probably will end up taking a hit most definitely, if not a -8. Then my planned transfers would be, I would be selling Fernandez to a Chelsea mid and upgrading Kulu to a Chelsea mid again. So that's a -4. Plus I have Thiago Silva. But I think I'm not sure. Do you think I should be free hitting because I'm considering free hitting this week?
Like to be honest, if you are not considering to feed this particular week, then what are your options?
Yeah, I've not been really very clear about that throughout the season. So basically, I've not planned for it at all. Uh, Ideally, one free hit. The plan was whenever City has a double game week, that free hit will be used then. I'm not really sure about that as well. So one of the free hits definitely will be used in 36 and 37. But since this is a double game week, and I have fair enough, I have not looked at 35's fixture closely whether if that is a better hit fixture or not. But I don't want to drag it to 35 just in case I need to play it in 36. Then I cannot do it because of the consecutive free shoot. So I feel the fixtures are generally good for this particular game week. Uh, but as I said, if I'm not doing a free hit, my transfers would be Fernandez to probably Havertz and Kulu to Mount. Do you think that is a good uh, like? But I'm not really happy about Diego Dalot. I am not really happy about Thiago Silva. Not much wrong in that team. There is Cristiano Ronaldo, there is Harry Kane, but I don't feel that it is kind of maximizing. And I'm actually I'm like thinking along the lines. I did share this with you as well that I'm trying to forget whatever has happened till now. So my target right now is there are 5 game weeks. I have roughly 3 chips, and I am looking to score like 500 points in this 5 game week. I know it sounds very fancy and very tad impossible, but I have seen it happen. So that's my target basically. So I'm like forgetting the rest of the season, and these 5 game weeks are my focus from now on till the end of the season. I
So,
think
like obviously, it's just 5 games left. So you have to plan out almost like when are you going to use your triple captain? When are you going to use your free hits?
mhm. So the triple
So
captain I'm
so like
thinking will be used in 36 and 37. I don't know
mm,
the order. It depends on what players I have and what
mm.
is the team that I land up with in 36. So if I feel that my team is not
so
adequately
so
placed in 36, I'll place the field. And 37 then in that case will be a triple captaincy. Otherwise, the reverse. 36 will be the triple captaincy and 30. See, ideally, Man City candidates would be the best triple captaincy option, right? So if I can manage, it all depends. And since it has not been announced yet, so that is a very major hindrance as to any chip planning that there is. Which is why I have not also activated my free hit chip yet because I think I'm expecting the news to be announced on Friday. So by the time you are hearing this recording, probably the news has already come about City Double. But yeah, at the time of recording, at least it hasn't. So yeah, that's something that is hindering my plans.
so
Uh,
as you said, you would be playing your feet one feet in 36 and 37. So indirectly, it like blocks your 35 or 38 free hit playing time.
okay, not bad.
Either like yeah. So I think 30-40 is your next best possible option. And considering
Yeah, I mean 38 can be done if I'm playing the free hit in 36, and 35 can be done if I'm playing the free hit in 37. But yeah, again, it is dependent. So I'm hoping that, and as per Ben Kellen and everybody, probably the news should be coming on Friday. Uh, that will actually clarify. It is expected to go into 36, which is a bit unexpected because I was hoping that it will go into 37. It would have made things much more easier. But probably City's double game week would be in 36. So yeah, once that is absolutely set and defined, I think that will be a much more clearer thought process for me as to what to do. And there are brilliant websites like Life FPL and like FPL Teams, a lot of websites that do let you do transfer planning for the future game weeks as well. So I think yeah, fair enough, that can be done. That is something that can be figured out. But yeah, there's time is very short. Okay, let's bring up like a mock. This is not the final three hit draft, so I'll just bring it up very quickly and roughly done. Let's quickly get your thoughts on that and any suggestions that you might have, and yeah, then we'll wrap it up.
I know, like I guess, like your free team, you like okay, just bring your free team first.
This is not exactly my free hit team. I have made this as a draft. This is not the final team. So yeah, free hit wise, a dead goalkeeper and Dubravka. I think Dubravka has a very good chance for a clean sheet. The other option or consideration probably would be Jose Sa. But yeah, I think Sa might concede, plus he's expensive than Lukaku. Need the cash. In defense, I have Laporte, Robertson, Cancelo, and Rudiger, who might become James. Um, Apart from that, midfield is Salah, Mahrez, Mount, and Kulu, uh, and Werner and Ronaldo up front. The fifth midfielder is Fabian Delph, and the third forward is dead forward. Basically. This
So
is not
like what
exactly,
changes?
yeah, this is not
Like
exactly. There are almost nine changes in this team from my present team. Right? So I think it was minus 36 or something. But since I took this screenshot, which is a bit back, I had time to think about it. So I don't think I would be probably going with Ronaldo as well. Uh, I'm still thinking whether I should be structurally it should be a 4-4-2 or a 5-4-1 or something like that. But I'm thinking up top Werner and Nketiah, not a bad option. Nketiah is a very good enabler. In midfield, probably Salah and Kai Havertz, and I can obviously Son I can get. Plus, I can plumb for at a stretch probably KDB. If not, then definitely Mahrez for sure. And in the back, probably double up on City defenders or double up on Liverpool defenders, plus one Chelsea and plus one City or Liverpool, vice versa, and the keeper. That's generally my thought process. I think they all have fairly decent fixtures. Good team on paper at
yeah,
least.
yeah.
Any suggestion, like any particular player that you think I should be targeting on free hit? Because another reason for playing the free hit is because I have Sun and Kulu. I don't want to sell them since they do have a good fixture next game week in 35. So if I look at 35 fixture for Spurs, it's Leicester at home, which is I think a very good fixture for Sun and Spurs in general. So yeah, for me, free hit makes sense in that case. So
Yeah, completely fine. I guess if you can afford Jota in your team, you should you should add him.
I can afford Jota in my team. I should add him. Okay,
Or like off for a 4-5-1.
okay. So
Probably
you
going with two City defender, one Liverpool defender, one Chelsea defender, or
mhm.
and then someone like Riyad Mahrez or someone like
If I go for
Jota
Jota,
in
I'm
midfield.
sure I cannot afford KDB in that case. Uh,
Hmm.
but yeah, I think that can be manageable. Uh,
Riyad Mahrez, Jota, I think Kai Havertz, Salah, and probably uh,
if the one Liverpool defender in that case is Robertson, do you think that's fine?
yeah, fine.
I don't think I can afford Trent in that case.
I think it's fine. Robertson is fine, definitely. He has been performing better than Trent for a long time.
Actually, if you think about it, and I was seeing this thread by somebody, sorry to whoever had posted this, and I am not remembering. If you see, since game week 20, Matip is performing better than Robertson as well. If you see points per million wise. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but we'll never go Matip. That's the thing. Might just go Matip. I don't know. Like, if I can't afford the team that we are talking about, yeah, might just go Matip. Okay. I think, yeah, I did briefly in passing think about the Jota option. Is Jota supposed to start? Is he confirmed to start? That's the main point for me.
Yeah,
Whether he'll be
yeah.
starting this match or not. If he's starting, I think, yeah,
Uh,
he's definitely a very good option.
def- Definitely, I feel. Yeah, definitely Jota is starting this match.
Okay. So I'm trying to make this team while sorry, you cannot show you this on the screen, but I'm trying to make the team that Anjan suggested. So I can tell you like right now if whether I can afford this team or not. So if you just bear with me. Um, okay. So if I let's say if I stick to my guns and I say that James is the best option, and who would you double up from Man City? I think Laporte is a good option. Right? He should be playing this match.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think
Nathan Akers is
cancel.
injured. Jones is injured. So yeah,
If you want to punt, you can punt on Zinchenko also. I think he would
I don't
be
want to call
starting
that.
this match. Then
I
leave
don't
it.
know.
I think.
I
Then I
want
think.
abroad players who will at least play. I don't want the heartache wherein the player does not end up playing on a free hit. That will be heartbreaking for me.
Then I think Laporte is a very good option.
Diaz is fit as well right now, but yeah,
Yeah.
things make sense that Laporte should play. Uh, no, I'm short. It's not happening, bro.
How much are you short?
I have not even checked that. I'm just saddened by the fact that I'm short and I stopped trying. I'll tell you how much I'm short by. 1.8.
That's too much.
So if I make uh, Robertson into matchup, I can.
See, if you want to, if you want to do that particular move or not.
Would you take Alonso over James?
Yeah,
Do you think Alonso plays both the matches?
yeah. I think.
I think Alonso plays both matches. Going Alonso over James would save me point 0.8, which is fine. Yeah, but still, I'll be a million short. That's off-putting.
Then I think you should wait for the pressure. I guess if you want to see like if you want to skip Jota also, it's okay. Just I thought like people won't be having Jota because you are playing free hit. So I thought like just suggest you some month. I feel like they are
It's a good point.
decent
I'm
option.
interested by it. But it's the same reason that I was not being able to take Trent. This is due to the budget issues. I did think about Trent as well, since I don't own Trent right now. So Jota and Trent right now are similar priced. But yeah,
Okay.
I might
Anyways,
have to. If I ditch Mahrez to Foden, probably I can. That's something probably I don't want to. Anyways, as always, I would let you know what were the final moves that I made. To follow me on Twitter and Anjan as well, and you can check on my team. I do post my team every game week. So eventually, if I thought I'll say this at the end of the season that I was always giving out what I was doing throughout the season. You did not follow me, But anyways, if you still want to follow what I do team wise, you can follow me at the rate of post underscore Somnath on Twitter. I do post. Hoping you guys have a wonderful game week and have green arrows from here on onwards. Finish the season on a good note and come back recharged for the World Cup infused fantasy Premier League season next time around. Till next game week, goodbye, good night, have a wonderful game week. Bye bye.
Bye bye, guys.